I know most of my content is satire. It's meant to try to be funny. I don't know if it's actually, in fact, funny, but I do try to be funny. However, I need to be real for a minute, or probably 10 at that point, but yeah. As a few of you, or if you know, last March 2022, 14 months ago, I found out that myself and my bulldogs were living in copious amounts of toxic mold in throughout the walls in our apartment. And it was the most toxic of mold, most toxic strain, Stachybotrys chartarum. So, without getting into too many details, I do have a YouTube channel that I've devoted to this entire journey. I will link that if you really are interested, because I'm not getting into too many details. I'll be here for the next month. So that was in March of last year, and I was living in an apartment here in Albany, and it was more or less their responsibility. I didn't bring the mold. I tried to deal with the apartment complex because it's not my fault. It was totally something that I had nothing to do with. So I tried to involve the apartment complex to have them resolve the situation. I didn't know at the time how big it was, but they absolutely were zero help. They took no responsibility. In fact, they were in denial that there even was an issue. I will say they did the bare minimum to follow up on my at first it was obviously an assumption, but they didn't go in the walls. They had the HVAC guy come and check the HVAC. I mean, I had to hire a professional to come and, at the time, test the air. Let's fast forward a couple months. I had to get out of there. They were not letting me. I had just signed a new lease. They were not letting me out of my lease. They were they were not helpful at all. But I was sick the entire 16, 17, 18 months that we ended up living there. I was all sorts of different things that were just weird. Dogs as well. I just wrote it off to other things because who the hell thinks that's the case? So without getting into like a huge story about this, because there's extensive, I do have it on YouTube if you are very interested and want to know pretty much exactly what happened and is continuing to happen. It is on my YouTube, so I'll link that. But the story could go on forever and I don't want to lose you. So it wasn't until June of last year that I actually got out of the apartment. Got myself and my dogs because the apartment complex was useless. So I got my dogs, and eventually it was hard at the time to find a new apartment because the apartment shortage, whatever. And things were so expensive, but I finally got another apartment. It wasn't until the end of August. So I moved in, and I found out soon that my stuff, all my belongings, were destroyed. There was mold in everything. So essentially I had lost all of my things, and furthermore contaminated my new apartment. So I ended up having to break that lease. And I really did like that apartment. It was really nice, but I ruined it. So I had to get rid of everything and had to move out of that apartment because it was contaminated with mold. That puts us until like the end of October, or maybe early November by the time I actually stopped staying there. So from the beginning, November about, until now, which is the beginning of May, myself and my 3 dogs have been, for lack of a better term, homeless. Not only did the mold take all of my belongings, Jesus Christ, and my place of living, and my health, and a bunch of other, my mental capacity, it it also drained my savings. For once in my life, I actually had a little bit of money saved, and I was doing, in March of last year, when this first started, I was doing very well for myself. I was consistent with working, and I was literally the most secure I've ever been in my entire life. So from March, when this really first started, I stopped really being able to work because I was either couldn't get out of bed, not feeling good, or was too busy moving from place to place because I didn't think it was the safest idea for us to stay there. So that I would take the dogs for a night or two a week, just waiting for the apartment complex to deal with things. Essentially, we still live there, but I was trying to get out of there as much as possible. And I wasn't able to work because either I was sick and in bed or... So, since November of last year until now, I've been, like I said, homeless, between trying to find Airbnbs, hotels of all different types, like dirty motels, to the Hilton, the Marriott, to even sleeping in my car multiple times with my dogs. It's been a long 10 months, 7 months, 8, 9 months. It's been a long, since March of last year, let's just say that. Meanwhile, this entire time, obviously Airbnbs, hotels are very expensive. But we literally had nowhere to go or nothing. We don't have any furniture. I don't have anything I had to get rid of. Everything I owned, literally. So, mind you, the doctor for this entire thing doesn't take insurance. The vet, obviously, I have to go to a holistic vet to get the mold out of our system. Like, we have to detox, or else it'll never go away. So it's safe to say we haven't done that yet. Too busy trying to put a roof over my dog's head, making it impossible still to really work. So I've just been, after my savings, just been living day by day, literally. Like I said, sometimes we've ended up sleeping in the car. But that's, the whole story is on YouTube. Well, most of it. I'm going to be dealing with that for a long time. But that puts me here at an Airbnb in May of 2023. I have since learned so much about mold. There are a lot of things I wish I knew in March that I know now. Can't really go back, but I'm literally taking it day by day. Some days are better than others. Without me going into any more specifics, because there's a lot, it brings me to here, today. Last week, I checked into an Airbnb, and it was not livable. It was not clean, and it smelled very bad of cigarette smoke. That's the last thing I can deal with. After all this, I can't breathe as it is. So I immediately left and had to sit out for someone else to stay. So in the midst of all this confusion and not knowing what's going on, I managed to crash my car. I managed to total my car. Oh, my mind went blank. I don't really know, but I didn't see the stop traffic in front of me, and I rear-ended somebody. With the dogs in the car, with all of the belongings I do own, and me in the car. This automatically put me into a whole new stage of panic, as it would most people in an accident. But I thought to myself, my first thing was, at the end of the day, if we have nowhere to sleep, we always had my car. It's not the Hilton, but it's not outside. Literally. And I've resorted to it multiple times. But now we don't have that anymore. I can't say it was anybody else's fault, because it really wasn't. At the end of the day, I hit somebody. I'm gonna cry. So my car is in fact totaled, all the airbags deployed. I'm okay. My legs are pretty banged up. This was last week, I'm still extremely sore. One dog was in a crate in the car, and the other two, luckily, they were both in front seat, but they were facing the opposite way, which I think helped them. I wasn't going fast, really. I couldn't tell you, maybe 25. So that is a plus, but I do not have a car anymore. I do not have my car anymore. I am currently on an Airbnb until Sunday, 7th, which time I have to leave here because she's got somebody else coming. It's pretty expensive here too. I did find another one the day after this. I stayed in a hotel the night that happened, and then I found an Airbnb the next day, but I only had 2 days there, and thank God, because it was gross. I had to find one relatively close to that, as I had to walk my belongings and my dogs from there to here. I was lucky enough to find another one, way nicer one, a lot more expensive one, but I'm at that one until Sunday. Again, with sparing any more stupid details I'll be here forever. I have literally, this whole thing is destroying my life. Some days I just wish that I could just disappear. It has affected my finances, my health, my mental stability, bad. And I didn't know mold could do such a thing, but if you research it, it literally can put masses on your brain, and ultimately it can kill you. And more so your animals. They are susceptible to so much more than we are, as their immune systems are not nearly as strong. And it's like a baby. It's just, they don't have enough of an immune system to fight as if you and I. And I just happen to have 3 bracephalic breed dogs. My dogs have been to their vet multiple times since this has happened. They have offered no resolution. I have to find a holistic vet. So, lots of other things. But if you have any questions, you can ask me. Happy to answer them. Anyway, that's why I'm making this video. I am at a spot now where I literally don't know if I'll have a place to sleep at the end of the day. Literally, it runs through my head every day. I can get a few days here and there out of an Airbnb or a hotel, but like I said, I don't have a car anymore. So being able to save for an apartment or able to find one with a cosigner, because I have terrible credit, that's my fault, yes. But I also have 3 dogs this is 98% for the dogs. If it was just me, things would be a lot different. But I signed up to take care of 3 dogs until I couldn't anymore, and not on my own. Not because of anything me. I have to make sure my dogs live their life as healthy as can be. Like I said, if it were me, things would be a lot different. But it's not. And I love them. So it's worth it. I never, ever, 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 ever ask for help from anybody. Ever. And I've been slowly on a decline since last March when this started. I never thought 14 months later I would still be homeless, or be in fact more homeless than I was in March of last year. But I do not see an end in sight. the way things are. I'm worried about tomorrow and the next day, and at that point, there's no way I'm going to be able to find an apartment because I spend literally $4,000 a month, which is insane, just to put a roof over our head. Sometimes it's in the seediest of motels, but it's a roof. I just want these dogs to feel better. That is in the future. That's on my to-do list as well. I want to feel better eventually. I never ask anybody for anything, but I see this it just went from really extremely bad to like unbearable. I'm at the end of my rope. Honestly, don't even know if I'm gonna post this because I've been wanting to make it since the day the accident happened, and it's been almost a week. I'm just finally now making it. I don't even know if I'm actually gonna post it because that's just not me at all. I have decided to start a GoFundMe because I can't do this anymore. I have not been able to work since last March here and there, but I literally was doing very well when this happened. And being either not feeling good, which I still don't most days, to moving every 2 or 3 days. And moving is a big deal when you've got 3 dogs and like and stuff. It's a whole day event. So literally I never sleep. I don't even know how to relax. I need to GoFundMe. And for anybody that does donate money, I will, whatever you want, I can do. I will do. But I literally, like I said, it's for the dogs. I just want to thank, there's been a few people that have helped me that know about my situation, that have helped me, whatever it may be. I do appreciate them more than anything. I'm a very appreciative person. And I hate the fact that I'm even in this position, but I cannot dig myself out. I've been trying. And with losing my car, things just got a lot worse. I've never asked for anything. I mean, I cannot say that I never asked for anything because I have. But it takes everything I have to ask for help. Even from my own parents. Which, by the way, cannot and will not help me. They undermine everything. They don't really know anything about anything. And if they wanted to help me, they would already. But here we are. So that's it. If you guys have any questions, ask away. I'll link my YouTube with the entire story. I also want to notate that mold can be found in over 80% of the buildings in this country, most of them unknowingly. So on my YouTube channel, you will find one of my videos with the majority of my symptoms. So and they're like the most random of things. So if it's a possibility, you could be living in mold, and you have any questions, I'm no professional. But I do know quite a bit. As I said, this has destroyed my life. And I feel like knowledge is power. So one step ahead. No, I can't even say that. I'm not 10 steps behind of this entire thing. But I'm 9.5. I will be happy to answer any questions or whatever. And I pray this never happens to you or anybody that you care about. Because like I said, on top of being detrimental to materialistic things, and that it can and will kill people. So if there's anything that you can do to help my dogs, me at this point, even if it's just giving us a little bit extra of a positive reinforcement, or I'm not one for prayer, but something like that, it is very much appreciated. Thank you for even getting this far. If you made it this far, I talk a lot. But I'm so nervous right now. Like I said, I don't know if I'm going to post this. I don't even know if this is even going to be a thing. I didn't even make the GoFundMe yet. I really in a position where I think I need to. But again, I love you, and thank you for getting this far into my video. I hope you have a great night, and thank you for being someone who gives a shit. Love you.